Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Metal video. In this video we are going to take a look at how the Teq Paikuhan unit performs in DBZ Dokkan Metal after his recent EZA. So obviously his leader skill got adjusted, nothing too crazy there if I'm honest to you, and his super attack effect got changed. He now lowers attack and defense once he supers the enemy. But in terms of passive, he got a pretty nice change here. He got attack of 81%, plus an additional attack and defense of 98% when attacking. He also gains ki +3 when fighting a single enemy, and has defense plus 40% to Otherworld Warriors category units. So a pretty nice change up there for Paikuhan. Something really cool and really awesome. In terms of build, you're going to want to go for crit. He doesn't really gain any defensive or offensive benefits from firing off additional supers, as he already lowers attack and defense, and of course having crits will enable him to do quite a large amount of DPS. In terms of links, he has Gentleman, Shocking Speed, Experienced Fighters, Fierce Battle, and of course Brainiacs, which is a pretty nice link set that lets him link up pretty well with other Piccolo units. There's the Krillin unit, and there's a couple, Nova Shenrons and other worthy rivals units that are pretty good for him. In terms of categories, he's on Otherworld Warriors, Saviors, and yeah, to be honest with you, a little bit disappointing that he's not on Movie Heroes or on Connected Hopes, as that would have been just a nice addition for Paikuhan, or Paikuhan as some people like to call him. And I think it would have been a pretty good addition just to flesh out his categories and kind of make him usable on a lot more. But yeah, beyond that slight oversight, we'll try him here on the Otherworld Warriors category. A category that's pretty decent for him. He doesn't really have the greatest linking partners on this category. Unfortunately, he's not really got the wildest bunch of units because he can't really link with himself, and there's no real alternative Paikuhan to link with him. He links well with worthy rivals category units. There are some saviors category units that he links really well with, and those categories might be better options for him. The Otherworld Warriors category, which weirdly is the category that he buffs, generally speaking isn't one that he's actually that good on. But that being said, he does have some benefits obviously designed for him to be able to run on this team. One of them being the fact that he of course gains 3 ki when he is facing a single target enemy. This is something that really helps him out, as it enables him to gain ki and fire off super attacks even if he is not getting the most links available. Plus the ability to buff the defensive rotations of everyone else with his Otherworld Warriors support also obviously means that he just has a little bit more viability. So we saw a decent defensive stat there with Paikuhan, but it is important to note that Paikuhan gains a tremendous portion of his defense upon firing super attacks. Because he does not have any baseline defense, he gains pretty much all of his defense once he is firing that attack, and that pretty much essentially doubles whatever the defensive stat that he has is before firing that super attack. Another important thing to note with Paikuhan is that his super attack is currently farmable. You can farm it with the Super Strike mission that is obviously available for the AGL copies of Paikuhan that you can kind of trade in as viable units for training up his super attack. If you raise them to an SSR state, they will be a 50% chance. If you awaken them further, they will be a 100% chance. It's just going to depend on what you are comfortable with in terms of pretty much doing with Paikuhan, or at least with raising Paikuhan's super attack. So yeah, Paikuhan looks pretty good. Obviously we haven't seen too much yet from him in terms of numbers, but we have a good idea of what he can do and what he can bring to a team. I think he really excels in that second and third slot, as we're seeing a lot of units lately that have received EZAs do, mainly because he obviously provides support, but he also gains a large, pretty much almost tremendously massive amount of defense once he fires his super attack, and so it's far more beneficial for him to exist in that second and third slot, because it will just result in him doing a lot better and just having a better performance overall, which is something you obviously want to be aware of and that you do want to take note of. He also lowers attack and defense, which, although not necessarily helpful in a lot of the Gods of Destruction or the long form events, is still helpful in a lot of SBR and ESBR and Infinite Dragon Ball history and some Ultimate Clash stages. You can see here we have 3 links active with him, which is pretty good. Obviously not the ideal location for him to be in, but just so we can get an attack stat with him and just see how he performs, we've just got him paired up here. 3 links with Gogeta is more than fine. It's not really an issue at all. So for me, a nice little combination here. He could be the kind of unit that works well with the AGL Paikuhan, not from a linking perspective, but because you can run both of them on the team. You can have them kind of floating and providing their pseudo support, which is very nice. And we can see there a really good attack stat from Paikuhan. Really solid offensive numbers right there, and he does gain quite a bit from links. So even though it's difficult to link him up, when you can link him up on worthy rivals teams and such with units like Piccolo, he gets a lot of powerful bonuses from his links. Brainiacs is a great attack and defensive buff. Experienced Fighters is a great attack and defensive buff. Shocking Speed gains attack and defense. Fierce Battle, he can increase his attack. He's just got some very good links. Gentleman is also a super powerful link as well. That's really helpful that he can utilize. So overall, there's just a lot of options in terms of his link leveling. And he does honestly link really well with Piccolo, and Piccolo's on quite a few of his categories. Saviors, worthy rivals. He's just got a lot of options when you try and run him with Piccolo. Generally speaking, it kind of, results in him having a much better time, at least as a main rotation unit. But for the Otherworld Warriors team, he's definitely showing off his floating capabilities. It really buffs up the defense for everyone else, while also giving himself enough ki if you're fighting one enemy, that he can fire off his really nice offensive stats. And once supering, he honestly has quite a good amount of defense. So from that perspective, I think Paikuhan is great. I think he's really good in his role as a floater on the Otherworld Warriors category team, and I think you can get him to do a bit better as a main rotation unit in some other teams. Of course, he's pretty interesting as a unit. His link set is pretty diverse, it's versatile almost to say, and he does do some really good damage, which I think is something not that Otherworld Warriors needed necessarily, considering it does have some pretty hard hitters, obviously in the form of the Gokus and all of that. But having a unit that does hit pretty hard, has good defense and provides some defense is really good. I think if there was one change that I would do, it's probably I would have given him ki to the rest of the rotation. I do think Otherworld Warriors just generally does lack synergy. You're generally running one super rotation and one extreme rotation, which obviously it does affect your general performance. In this team, we're going to be running him on a Saviors team. He's going to be running with the Teq Krillin, who's going to be providing some kind of support. He's going to be running with the Teq Planet Namek Piccolo, who's also going to be running some support as well. So we should see some pretty good, well, not support, but some really good links, sorry. So we should see a pretty good performance by Paikuhan here, and we should see some really good results overall. So we obviously have him here in this turn. Not really ideal, no real major links or anything like that. The the Saviors team is an okay team. It's still a little bit of a strange category. Overall, it's not really something that I would say is spectacular. It's not really like the best team in the game. It's got a very good lead in the form of this Hybrid Saiyans Gohan, but for the most part, it's not a team that has great synergy, and I wouldn't say it's a particularly fun team to run. But having units like Paikuhan who get these EZAs does help out quite a bit. Just having him come in, having him provide some variability with the units, some viable units, just a variability in the units that we can use and things like that. I think overall, obviously, that just helps out in general. You can see here we've not got a lot of links active, but 72k defense is good. Remember, he will be gaining a large amount of defense when he fires his super attack, which is obviously great. And yeah, overall his attack stats have been pretty damn good, in the 2 millions, really quite high, really impressive, and with support they'll jump up quite a bit. We will see with Krillin how that affects his stats overall. But yeah, he definitely is a nice update on the previously completely useless Teq Paikuhan. Like I said, only a couple small changes. I would have liked him to be on Movie Heroes. I would have liked him to be on Connected Hope, and I would have liked him to be probably a key support as well, even if it is only one or just 2 or 1 key, pretty much nothing crazy, not like 4 or 5 key or anything like that. I do think if he had 1 or 2 key as a support, it would have been really good. I think that would have been really great. Made him a bit more viable, made him suit that floating position well, and although a lot of his teams don't necessarily need the key support, I think Otherworld Warriors specifically does need the key support. It's just the team that essentially doesn't necessarily thrive with its rotations. So here we've obviously got some support on the rotation with him. We have him in the center. He's got a bit more links active. He has a couple shared with this Krillin, which obviously helps out. He's got 3 there, so pretty solid in terms of linking. If we shift him to the middle, he'll have 4 active, which is really, really good. In terms of defense, we're up to 96,000 before he supers, which is great. So we're really starting to see some good stats out of him here, and some good performance, and a really nice attack stat there. Remember, he gains a lot from link leveling. He's one of those units that if you do have the right build around him, he does tend to gain quite a lot from his links. Brainiacs, experienced fighters, shocking speed, fierce battle, all of those will improve his defensive and offensive capabilities, which is really nice. And obviously just makes him, one of those units that really, really benefits from linking and link leveling and all those sort of things. So from my end, quite happy with just how Paikuhan's doing, quite happy with his performance overall, and for me, just super duper happy with how he's looking here. I think he's good. I think he provides great variability to his teams again. He's good. I really enjoy his EZA. Small things could have made it better, but he's great. And obviously we're seeing some good results from him here. We've got him linked up with the Piccolo here, so I think this is his best rotation. He's got 5 links active. And hopefully we don't kill this AGL Gogeta, which, would not be ideal, just because, it would kind of prevent us from seeing the attack stat from old Paikuhan here. We're seeing that good defense again, which again will almost pretty much double once he fires off his super attack. So it's a very, very solid amount of defense. Again, suited to that secondary role, that floater role, that second rotation role. Let's get a look at his attack stat here. We are looking at 3.3 mil again. So 2 rotations of 3.3 mil in a row. Obviously the Krillin's helping a lot with units that gain their super, or gain their stats on super. Supports generally do help quite a bit, especially when they already have a baseline attack. So you can see that big jump up from the 2.4s, 2.5 millions to, the 3 million or so that we did see, which obviously was great for Paikuhan. It's just really, really good. So attack stats have been great. His defense has been super high these last couple turns. In terms of maybe rainbow levels, is it a super good unit? Maybe not, but he's still a very, very good unit. So if you do have him, he's going to be worth the orbs. He's definitely going to be worth the time. So I do suggest that you use your orbs on him, and you don't need to use Kai's, at least for the first 10 SA levels, because you can farm them from the strike event. So overall, he's actually got some great, he's got some great perks. No need for Kai's up to SA level 10. You can use orbs for him, obviously. In terms of link partners, he's got some decent ones on every rotation, but he links really well with all those Piccolos who are on a lot of his categories: Battle of the Wits, Saviors, Worthy Rivals. It's just Otherworld Warriors where maybe he doesn't have the best linking partner, but at the same time, he's possibly more a floater option on that team. So yeah, pretty cool. We're gonna get another attack stat out of him here. Still 4 links active. You can see that defense dropped because we don't have Krillin anymore, and we should see the attack drop a little bit as well, but we'll still see a pretty decent result from him, I'm sure. I don't think we'll see him drop down to like the 1 millions or anything like that. And remember, he does have a build that lets us go pretty much fully into crit, which obviously helps out quite a bit. And yeah, again, a pretty good attack stat. So yeah, overall, really, really impressed with Paikuhan. I think he's done great. I think he's definitely shown how much he improves from link leveling, from supports on the Saviors team, compared to how he functions on the Otherworld Warriors team, where he doesn't necessarily have all of those things active, which is maybe a shame, because obviously he's technically a defensive support for the Otherworld Warriors team, but at the same time, you can't really control those kind of things, and it is what it is. You can't determine whether he will be good on every team or what his role will be. So I think overall we're quite happy with what happened here. I'm personally quite happy with Teq Paikuhan and his updates. I'm very happy with his EZA. I think it's nice to have another Paikuhan that's good. We've got the AGL one who's very good, he's excellent, but it is nice to have another one that's good. Just a shame he's not on the Connected Hope category. So we've seen enough of him here. We'll definitely take a look at what the links are, but I think we pretty much covered the major links that we want to focus on. Experienced fighters, brainiacs, we have shocking speed, we have fierce battle, we have all these kind of links that we can focus on. I think generally speaking, just based on what we've seen, if you are looking to run them as a main rotation unit, obviously shocking speed's the most common key link I think that you're going to want to run. In terms of units, I think obviously more units are going to have shocking speed than they're going to have gentlemen. It is just one of those things. And then I think fierce battle obviously being one of the more common links, because it's shared with all the units that Dokkan Awaken, does help as well. And then of course, we're looking at links like probably experienced fighters or brainiacs, maybe not both. You could probably get both, but definitely one of the two. So you're going to want brainiacs, or you're going to want experienced fighters. You can see here that Piccolo is an option, and like I said, he's on Worthy Rivals, he's on Saviors, he's on Battle of the Wits, he's on quite a few categories with Paikuhan. So for the most part, is a completely viable unit, and is someone you're going to want to use alongside Paikuhan if you're going for a main rotation build. You can always use Paikuhan as like a floater in any team, but obviously you're not benefiting from that Otherworld support on any other team other than Otherworld Warriors, or unless you have a large amount of Otherworld Warriors on your other teams. But again, you can see a couple other linking partners. We've got units like the Super Fit Boo, who we can utilize, and he'll be on Worthy Rivals and teams like that, but not really too many others. It's a shame he's not on Storied Figures. Probably would have been a nice pairing partner on there. But yeah, Topo is a good linking partner for him, but unfortunately, even though he's got tough as nails, he's not realistically a good pairing partner for him because they don't share any categories really. So they are both superclass, but that's pretty much it in terms of their viability together. You get units like Nova Shenron, who's obviously on the how do I say, he's on the Worthy Rivals team, and you can technically use cells, but unless you're using a GT or Resurrected Warriors cell, you are going to, how do I say, struggle to get the links with him. It's just not really something that's going to be easy to get. But overall, yeah, Paikuhan's pretty cool. Nice update overall, good for him, good update for the character, a solid addition to his teams, a nice floating unit for the Otherworld Warriors category. But yeah, I think that we've covered everything we need to cover. So let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Do you think Teq Paikuhan's good? Do you like him? Do you not like him? What would you have liked them to do with him? You know, did you want them to add Ki? Did you not? Do you even like Paikuhan as a character? And let me know in the comments. But other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video. So until then, stay safe, take care, and bye.